Hello everyone, how have you been? Um, this COVID-19 situation has been extremely difficult, and work from home has its own challenges. So the past 6 months or so has been really difficult in the work front. Um, yeah, it was really very difficult. And along with work from home challenges, then you have this work meetings and all these virtual meetings with colleagues at different times. It is really very difficult because some people, especially parents, right, they have set their work times to be different. Basically, some have work times in afternoons to align with the way they want to have time spent with their kids and so on. So this work from home situation has been really very difficult on work front. So I've not been able to post many videos, not even a single video, I think in the past 4 months or so. So I thought of posting a video today, and it is a SQL based question, and obviously it is an easy question. So anyhow, let's get started on with this, and let's see how it goes in the upcoming days or months. So today we're going to look at problem number 1069 in Leetcode. It is the product sales analysis program. It's an easy problem, as you can see, and as you can see, 24 people have liked it and 50 people have disliked it. So it's because of the unnecessary information which is given. Basically, a second table is given to confuse you, and this is how the questions are going to be. Sometimes you're going to face questions where unnecessary information is given. It's basically to understand whether the candidate is getting confused with the unnecessary information or additional information at hand, or is able to take a proper cleaner approach in solving the problem. So this is also one of the interview tricks, as you can say. And as someone who has been involved in hiring people, some people obviously get confused, and only those ones who are not getting confused are those who have a stronger grasp on the fundamentals and who have enough information to identify, okay, this information is not required. Okay, so this is one of those questions which basically identifies whether the person has a good grasp on the fundamentals. Okay, so that's about the talk. So let's look at this question. So SQL schema is given. You have a table sales, right, and you have column name type given. So you have sale ID int, product ID which is int, and then year is int, quantity is int, price is int. Sale ID is a primary key of this table, and product ID is a foreign key to product table. Note that the price is per unit. Okay, and then there is a table called the product. The column name and type is it's given. So product ID is int and product name is of type varchar. Product ID is a primary key of this table. So here they mentioned that product ID is a foreign key to product table, right? So which means like product ID is the primary key of this table, which is implied. And what they're asking us to write a SQL query that reports the total quantity sold for every product ID. The query result format is in the following example. Sales table. So sale ID, product ID, year, quantity, price. So you have a row where you have one as a sale ID, product ID is 100, year is 2008, and quantity is 10, and price is 5000. And the second row you have 200, 2009, 12, 5000, and in the third row you have 7, and product ID is 200, year is 2011, and quantity is 15, and price per unit is 9000. Then you have a product table where it says product ID is 100 in Nokia, and 200 in Apple, and 300 in Samsung. Basically a list of phones probably. Yeah. And result table, product ID, total quantity 100, 22 quantities have been sold, and 215 quantities have been sold. So if you look at let's take a closer look at the sales table. Okay, so in sales table there are only two products. Why do I say two products? Because 100 and 100 and 200, so there are only two unique products, and 100 product is basically pointing to Nokia, and Nokia had a quantity of 10, basically 10 quantities of Nokia phones were sold in 2008, and in 2009 12 quantities of Nokia phone were sold. So the total quantity of Nokia phones sold until this far is 10 plus 12 is 22, and 200 is another product, which is the Apple product, and in 2011 it had a quantity of 15, so which means 15 Apple phones in total were sold. Okay, and if you look at the result basically displays product ID and total quantity. Now product ID is something which you can get from the first table itself, tails table. Now if you look at total quantity 22 and 15, this you cannot get from product table, you can directly get it from the sales table, right? So basically the second table is totally unnecessary, right? So you can just take all the information from the first table. So what you have to basically do is you have to sum the quantity of the mobile phone. So 4 foot is 100, so which means 10 plus 12 is 22. That is what is returned in the result, right? And 200, which is the Apple phone, which is 15, which is what the quantity which is returned in the result. The only difference is the column name is different. Of course it is going to be different because this is the total quantity, right? So whereas these are individual quantities which are sold in one particular year. So the second table information is completely unnecessary. Okay, so how do we, this is a basically a simple SQL query where you just use group by clause. You select items, and what is the mandate for group by clause? There should be a select statement. So what we are going to do is select product underscore ID, right? Because if you look at the result, it has product underscore ID and total quantity, right? So product underscore ID, and I'm going to sum this quantity, sum of quantity. And if you look at the result, product ID remains the same. Sum of quantity should be named as total quantity. So sum of quantity as total underscore quantity from which table? Sales table itself is okay. So from sales, and you can just do a group by of product ID, right? Selecting product ID and the sum of the quantity of this product ID from quantity table, from sales table, and then you have to group by the product ID. Yeah, so let's run this, and it's accepted. Let's submit it. Yeah, and it's a successful submission, right? So this is one of those questions where additional information is given which is totally not required to solving the current question at hand. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. I hope to post more videos soon. Take care. Bye bye.